Hi, I'm Irina Baker, and today I'm going to talk to you about a pain that not many people want to hear or want to know about, want to feel, of course, right? Who wants to feel pain, right? But this pain is prevalent in many people. Well, I would say majority of people, and especially women, and there is a spiritual reason for it. And since I usually address mostly women, I'm talking to you. And this pain is about feeling of disconnected, feeling of separated, because when potential clients come to me, inevitably, when I start asking questions, they would say, I feel disconnected. I feel separated. And most likely, they usually are not even aware of that pain, but later on, they tell me anyway. So it's either at the beginning they say, I feel separated, I feel disconnected, or later on they realize, oh my gosh, I didn't even know, I wasn't even aware that I felt this way, and now I don't. And so this pain could be called pain of never enough and pain of not whole, but it all stems to the main thing, that pain of disconnected. And so I'm going to talk about, first of all, I will describe the pain, I will talk about it, how people cover it up, why it's important, and I will reveal what it is about. And I will give you examples as well. So we'll start with the description of that. So if you're really honest with yourself and you look at yourself, you are willing to look inside. Do you have this pain of disconnection or separation? Do you feel separated or disconnected? Do you feel not whole? Do you feel not enough? So it's easy to see because there are obviously different levels of this pain. Some pain could be very much in the background. It's usually somewhere inside because, by the way, this pain does not just originate right here, right now. This pain actually comes to you from past lives. So many past lives ago, you started feeling it, and it travels with you from last time, past life, to this lifetime, and it will stay with you until you address it. So just covering it up doesn't do anything, because it just will not go away. You have to address it. So that's why this video today I'm doing it. So, if the pain is in the background and you hardly notice it, think about moments in your past that you would have that moment. Like long time ago, I had that moment. I caught it in time, and I still remember that moment when I would stand in the middle of the huge crowd next to my boyfriend at that time, and I felt extremely lonely. I had no idea what that pain realized. I had pain. I had no idea what it was all about, but I really felt it, and I remembered it. And so, interestingly enough, that was the pain that I'm talking about. I don't have it anymore, but it was definitely prevalent at that time. And then, if so, it could be in the background, it could be just literally, sometimes once in a while, or it could be burning there inside, and you just got used to it and you just cover it up, and then it could be a very severe pain. So when it becomes severe or it's been severe, people start looking for answers. And when they start looking for answers, because they're searching for the solution to this pain, because they can't take it anymore. And usually the prevalent feeling is, I am tired. And so that's when you look at yourself, you need to determine what it is. Are you tired of it? Do you know about it? Are you aware? Do you feel it? Because it's very important to start facing it. And before you face it, you have to find it. Because if you've been covering it up for so long, well, guess what? You didn't even you might not even be aware of it. So somebody gave me right now a chat message, and I want to look at it. So many people feel disconnected or separated. Funny, you discussing this. My pattern of separation, disconnection reared its ugly head again for me today. I need to journal about it and put it in a trigger handout. I see. Okay. And I recognize the language. It's one of my clients. I will ask who it is later, but this is the message. So, yes, it's actually, it might be in the background, but it could rear its ugly head, like this person said. And it's really, it has to be addressed. And so we address this part that you are looking at it and recognizing that, okay, you have it. And the next point I want to make is how people cover it up, because a lot of people are absolutely unaware of it. A lot of people are they don't know how to deal with it, so they just simply ignore it, because what else can you do if you don't know what to do with it? And so 3 types of covering it up. The first one is about, so how do people cover it up? Well, the first one is the work or business. It's not necessarily the first one, it's just one of 3. So a woman or a person will bring herself directly into work, into business, will focus on it, and will know nothing but just that, and will be very focused, trying to achieve, and trying to escape by her actions, by being very focused on something else, on the outside activity, while the pain is there. So she doesn't need to feel it, because she's focused on something else, covering it up by her business actions. I do not imply that we should not achieve, we should not strive to be better and to improve and create and do business. But what I'm saying is, if you have that pain and you covering it up with focusing on business only and not addressing the pain, well, business also suffers, because this pain creates your reality. So not really, it's not just innocent pain, it's actually active, and it sends vibration out and so forth. It's a whole entire different discussion, but right now we're focusing on covering it up. So the second one is using your 5 senses. And what that means is, we all have 5 senses as human beings. And as human beings, we want only 3 things. One is we want to survive. The second one, we want to avoid pain, which is I'm talking about. And the third one, we are seeking pleasure. And pleasure is very, very important, but pain as well. So all 3 are super important. And these 5 senses are helping us to do exactly that. And so if people use food as cover up, then they eat comfort food, they eat a lot of food, they eat all kinds of different foods to cover up pain, because as you, I'm sure, know perfectly well, that when you're emotionally feeling tired, drained, stressed, nervous, and so forth, you want to eat a lot of times. Even in a movie, the show, sometimes a woman is distressed, unhappy, and what happens? She goes to a store and buys a tub of ice cream, and then she loads on that ice cream because she wants to comfort herself. And that's how we comfort our pain, by overeating, eating junk, getting comfort food. We also use sex for that. We also use wine and so forth, because even how do alcoholics become alcoholics? Well, they want that wine to numb their pain, and that's why they're doing it and becoming alcoholics, because they're so sensitive to that inner pain and they don't know what to do with it. So the only way to find it, they just cover it up with alcohol. And all kinds of addictions that we could name can serve to cover up your pain. By the way, don't get any ideas. Do not use this for covering up, because that's the worst thing to deal with this pain. It will still be there until you address it. And number three, cover up, is the relationship. I think that's the most prevalent one. And the prevalent one is misunderstood tremendously because people, and men too, but I mean, women and men too, but I'm talking to women. Women think that by finding relationship, by finding great relationship, they will stop feeling lonely, they will stop feeling separated, they will be enough because somebody will love them, and they will be whole once again. And they say significant other, the other half. But the truth is, the other half cannot actually add to your half if your half is missing. And your pain, it has nothing to do with the relationship. And I am sure if you already have relationship, no matter how great it is, I am sure you already found out on some level that your pain of separation has nothing to do with your relationship, because these are two entirely different areas of life and entirely different origin of that as well, because pain of separation is not about relationship. So these are three very lame but very skillful cover-ups that people use to cover their pain of separation, pain of disconnection, pain of not enough, and pain of not whole. So the next point I want to make right now is, how would you identify it? So first of all, you need to identify, do you have it? Believe me, majority of people do have it, unless you're not aware of it, but it doesn't mean you don't have it. And again, there is a spiritual reason for that, which I'm going to reveal very soon. And so you let's say you found it because somehow maybe you remember in the past you felt it, and maybe it's somewhere still you can, if you search, you can find it. Or like I said, it may be already very profound and you searching for answers. So how the next step is, how severe is it? So identify the severity. And then number third step is, how do you call it? Because we can identify it in different ways. So one way is the void. So the void, a person would tell me, I have that void inside of me. I don't know how to feel it. I don't know what to do with it, but that void is always present, and I just learn to live with it. So that's one. The second one, people could say, I feel that emptiness inside. No matter what I do, emptiness prevails. Even though I'm in a relationship, I still feel empty. Nobody can feel that emptiness. The next one is dissatisfaction. No matter what you do, you are just not satisfied, because the feeling of satisfaction has nothing to do, or dissatisfaction has nothing to do with what is happening outside. Some people call it a black hole. One of my clients actually did determine later on that wasn't even aware when she uncovered it. She said it was a pitch black hole, and it was full of anger, full of stuff that she, of course, didn't want to even acknowledge. That's why she wasn't aware of it at the beginning. And another one is the blob. It could be black blob, or could be any blob, something that is there and it's not very pleasant, it's not light or anything good. Well, that's the part that is the pain. And like I said, it could be shown in different ways depending on you, depending on how you perceive stuff. And one more is the urge to accomplish more, to constantly be on the go, and you end up spinning your wheels. Or maybe you are progressing and you're getting great success, but your great success in business, your great success and achievements at work and career, and amassing even big amount of money does not guarantee that your pain will disappear. In fact, it could become even more profound, because again, it's a whole spiritual reason behind it. And so These are the steps to identify the pain, to look at it, to face it face to face. Because once you face it, it will be very easy to let go of it. But these are the first step you have to do. So now I'm going to reveal what this pain is all about. And this pain is actually the pain of separation from the divine, separation from God. Even though in reality we're never separated from the divine, but we don't know it, we forgot it. So we perceive somehow in the past we have created this pain, and the pain remains until we address it, until we understand what this pain is all about. And that's why I'm giving this live, teaching you about that. And so it's the pain of separation from the divine, and it's the basic foundation of everything. Because, and that's why I said almost every single human, every single person has this pain, because we are all disconnected from the divine unless we address the pain, release the pain, and make absolutely conscious connection with the divine and maintain that connection. And so um, that's why this pain is there. And the to understand that it's the pain of separation from the divine. And by the way, when you say I am not enough, well, I'm not enough because obviously God doesn't want me, divine doesn't want me, therefore something is wrong with me, I'm not enough. And the other one is I'm not whole. Well, because if I'm not a part of God, if I'm away from God because divine left me, quote unquote, that's the belief inside. By the way, subconscious, not conscious. Then I'm not whole. Some big part of me is missing. Do you see? Even though we think that it's actually a relationship that is missing because we feel lonely, but it's not true. It's God is missing, divine is missing from the inside. That intimate, direct connection with the divine is missing, and that's why people are looking for relationships and they cannot fill that void, because again, relationship with another human are very different from relationship with the divine. So that's the whole explanation about this pain. And also, the next point I wanted to make is, no matter what you do, if you not approach this pain correctly, I guess that's the word. I mean, I never use the word correctly, but you will see what I mean in a minute. But you might spin your wheels getting a lot of knowledge, but it doesn't mean that pain is actually addressed. I had a client who told me later on, because a lot of times people come to me, they're unaware of what's inside. Later on, as we work together, they start being aware, and that's when they tell me. So this person said, and I'm going to read because that's in her own words. I thought I knew myself. I could meditate for hours, but I was never satisfied long enough, asking myself, was there something wrong with me? I kept searching. Every new spiritual class I took, I hope it would reveal the answer. I would feel whole. Going to church, singing in a choir, listening to lectures didn't help me connect to God. The classes were spiritual, but they gave me only intellectual knowledge. No matter what I would do, I didn't feel connected, didn't feel whole, and I never felt enough. And now I understand a connection to God is not an outside job, it's an inside job. So, and then later on, she said, after we've done the work, we continue doing the work, she said, I know who I am now. I'm not worried that I'm not good enough, not smart enough, not pretty enough, and too old. I am calm, satisfied, and deeply connected. That's the main thing, deeply connected. And so the point she's making in this excerpt from the interview I did with her is that she actually saw because this is a very accomplished woman. She's a millionaire. She manages multi-million-dollar business. She's very well established in the physical world, and she's been on a spiritual path all whole life. And it didn't help her to get connected with the divine from the side. And that's what she's trying to say here, that she took classes, she studied with big names in spiritual and self-help industry. She started in a church, she started religion, and then she later on moved on to spirituality. So she's been on a path for tremendous number of years, and she didn't find that deep connection. Why? And she's saying it because everything she was doing was on the intellectual level, and the downfall with the intellectual level, it's when you get so much knowledge, you start thinking that you know a lot and that you are connected completely and you are so enlightened. I've heard it all, by the way. But the truth is, it's only on the surface. It didn't go any farther. It's just right there. You need to go deeper on a feeling level, and that's entirely different story, an entirely different picture. And so that's why getting intellectual knowledge is good, but not as good as taking it to the deep level. And it's just the next level in your development when you move from the spiritual intellectual, from the mental intellectual level to the feeling level. And by the way, that's what I do with my clients. So that's what we usually accomplish, moving from the from the intellectual level to the feeling level when we're strongly connected. And one more thing I would like to say, that people are maybe you're searching for answers. Maybe of course, everybody has some kind of problem and you're searching for answers, but not necessarily the correct answers. And that's okay. And I've had it the same. I thought all my life I was searching for one answer, but it turned out I was actually searching for entirely different. And I would demonstrate it with an example from my favorite movie of all times, The Matrix. When Neo was searching, remember at the beginning of The Matrix, the first one, Neo was half asleep in a room, and the computer is searching. So it was 24/7 searching for Morpheus. Neo thought that he had to find Morpheus in order to answer all the rest of the questions. But when Trinity showed up and led him to that place where they could speak inconspicuously, then she explained that Neo was not actually searching for what he thought he was searching, but he was searching for the answer to his question, what is the matrix? And that was very different from searching and looking for Morpheus, even though they were related, but not necessarily exact way. And that's what I'm trying to say here, that a lot of times when you're searching for your answers and solutions, you don't even know what you're searching, because the search is spiritual. Most likely you search for physical things, but the answer is spiritual. And that's what my clients always find out. First, they had one set of goals and dreams and desires, and they were searching for those answers. And then everything changes actually dramatically, 180 degrees, because again, everything becomes spiritual, not physical. And if you like this teaching about the pain, and if you identified you do have that pain, I encourage you and invite you to my upcoming 3-day live event. It's coming up soon, and it's called The Divine Wealth, the Inner Journey Home to Freedom and Power. Freedom and power are not the physical terms, they're actually spiritual terms. And the journey is the spiritual journey. And so if you're interested in it, your life will change dramatically no matter what level you are in. Believe me on that, because I bring on the table to the table 28 years of personal experience, personal and professional experience on the spiritual path. So to register for my event, go to irenabaker.com/wealth. It's right there on the screen, and register, because again, you shouldn't walk around with this pain. You need to address it, and there is much more. So we will have fun and go deep and go high as well. We go down, we go up, we have fun, and you will come out of this 3 days, full 3 days, experience a different person with a new outlook at life, and that's all that matters. And please remember, when you follow the divine, money will follow you. When you serve the divine, money will serve you.